I sit there, I scan items. I get people that come yapping, yelling at me like, "Oh, you don't have spaghetti." I'm like, "Yeah, because a dumb bitch in front of you bought 16 packets, you idiot."
Come on, cuz.
That's exactly how I feel every day. Dude. Bro, I'm so livid.
My dad was saying something about he was on the phone to my uncle and he was saying something like Australia might be going into like full on lockdown.
They've been saying that for a week and a half.
No, but I mean like locking down like only essential joints open and shit.
Oh yeah, Woolies has already stated that if we go into lockdown, they'll stay open.
Yeah, well, that's the same for us.
So that is pretty essential.
Fuck the supermarket. Someone help me.
The world is dying.
Good.
Actually, the world's doing okay. Have you seen like all the shit that's been happening, like Venice in Italy?
Bro,
like,
that shit clean and shit.
Dude. Yeah, like the world's actually doing alright.
Like pollution in China dropped like 75% or something.
Yeah.
Damn, I remember maybe we need more of these Noah's Ark style viruses that just wipe out like 90% of the world. We can restart again, dude.
Nah, fuck that. That can happen once we're dead.
Jesus.
I don't want to die just yet.
I'm not ready to die.
Which might happen anytime now, really.
That's very true, bro.
What the fuck?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm not the healthiest.
Oh, do you know what else was bullshit?
Here we go.
Freaking the title they gave away for the Luffy Zoro event.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, what was that?
What was it? I didn't even know. I didn't even see.
I didn't even get rewards from it.
Cobb, what was it? What'd you get?
Land of Wano.
Oh yes,
that was the title.
I got the same fucking title as everyone else.
What, dude? This is a real ranking event. It is worth it. You all got a title to Land of Wano, bro. That's so shit. That's such a shame, though. Top 100 should have got something different, and then top like 10 should have got something different, and then first place. But then again, they did ban modders. Positive, baby. So like we take those in our stride, though.
TM still doesn't get touched though.
They don't give a fuck, bro.
Who knows?
What a time to be alive, man.
Not for long.
Oh my god.
Well, since we don't have much time left, let's just start another episode of Good, Great, Perfect then. How about that? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Good, Great, Perfect. I'm here, Captain Puppy. What's popping with it? I've got the whole squad is here today. That's a real rarity these days. They have everyone pull up. Cobb, Dill, Joba, Knight, Todd. Everyone say hi awkwardly. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't know why I choose that to be... Oh my days. I don't feel good about that one at all. But I don't know why I always choose that to be the intro, but I guess that's just now par for the course as it is. Well, these past 2 weeks, we thought we would get no news, but once again, we have been caught off guard, and there is a lot of news that have dropped, specifically on the JP side of the game. But I'll run through quickly. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to everyone that's been subscribing, following.
Subscribing.
Okay, bro, I was doing my best now, okay? But like for real though, subs, follows, all the views, and everyone listening as well. We really do appreciate everyone for doing that. I want to give a quick shout out. I'm going to post a quick card in the video right now to the late episode. If you haven't yet, please do go listen to that. That's a very informative ep. I think everyone that was there really enjoyed it. We learned a lot about playing the game at a very high level, and it was very enjoyable. And there's a lot of good tips and tricks for TM specifically as well. So make sure you go listen to that. Listen to the previous episode of the podcast too. That was a very good ep. We all enjoyed it. We all talked about a bunch of different things, more specifically the new legends that dropped on JP with that one there. So make sure you listen to that one as well. Without further ado. Oh, but before that as well, make sure you follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at GGP Podcast. That's where you get updated with all of the news that's happening with the podcast itself. You'll learn about what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be talking about sometimes, and we're going to be asking you guys questions on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure you are following on both of those if you can. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and also make sure you follow us on any podcast listening platform, and let us know where you're listening from, so we have a gauge of where you guys are listening from. If you are listening via Anchor, or Spotify, or Apple, or Google Podcasts as well. But let's get into it. So, Global has a bunch of shit going down. Not a lot, actually, in comparison to JP. But more specifically, we have the return of the movie events, which are existing on both JP and Global. But there's a bunch of stuff going on there. We finally received the the World Clash Kizuna battle that had a verse Akainu. And that was the version that we saw in the Korean version. So we'll quickly dive into that real quick. And then the V3 Aokiji Suga Fest dropped out of nowhere. I mean, we kind of predicted it to be after Annie, but it came out of nowhere. There's a few interesting parts to that Sugo Fest. We'll delve into that too. And some Halloween Islands are returning to Global. Could this mean Furry Ace is coming through? We'll see. JP, though, just said, bet you want news? Here it is, dude. New Stampede units are coming in. I believe it's, what was it? It's Donald and Buggy as well. So that'd be interesting. We have a whole new Kizuna revamp, which is really exciting. And, you know, I really want to get into talking about this because I think there's a lot of interesting parts we can get into with the whole new Kizuna revamp.
That shit looks so good.
We have a special raid event coming up with all of this is pertaining to the this part 2 of the Road to 6 Annie. So this event is a CP9 raid, and there's a lot of interesting news that is coming with this CP9 raid as well. 6 Plus Whitebeard finally drops on JP. There's also all the movie returning events that are coming with the whole movie return islands and quests as well. We have a limited rare recruit chopper. Oh, sorry, not chopper. Limited rare recruit Soge King Usopp that has dropped as well. Plus the addition of a couple of 6 Plus skulls into the unlockable quests. Kizuna versus Moria. There's a lot of news that comes out of the Moria one and a lot of fantastic changes and alterations that might exist for future Kizunas, but I think it's really exciting to get into. There's a lot of news that exists to that part there. And we got dropped a brand new home screen, which came out of absolutely nowhere, which is, I think, really good revamp and a good overview for the whole game. Plus the Arlong ship as well. Arlong ship as well is dropping too. So that's a really interesting ship to get into. And if we get some time, we'll go into a little general discussion. I don't think any of the guys have read that part of the episode plan, but I'll spring it on them if we get some time to talk about that. And there's 2 questions we want to get into as well. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, return of all the movie events. More specifically, this is your chance to farm dupes for supports because these movie raids don't come around that often these days. So make sure you farm them all. We got a lot of the Fortnites, but more specifically, we got the Raid Tesoro, Raid Shiki, and Raid Zeph. Make sure you farm those up. Bullet Skulls are now the unlockable quest. Please farm these. Even if you don't have Bullet, spend the 3 gems, hold the L, spend the gems, farm these skulls up just to have in case you get Bullet. You might as well at this point. And then with all these events as well, Chopper Man missions, there's a few tickets that you can get as well. Plus, I believe Stampede Usopp's available. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it is.
Yeah, I think he's in the race shop.
But now you can get him as well if you weren't able to get him from Treasure Map. God, which treasure map was
no,
Stampede
he was
Usopp?
a Chopper Man.
Oh no, it was Chopper Man mission. That's right. Yeah. But I think the most interesting part for this whole event is the Bullet and Stampede Sugo. So, we're going to talk about it more in depth, probably again in the JP version, because both these versions are actually different. So, the one on Global is a 1.5 times legend rate and no guarantees versus the Japan's version where I believe it's a regular rate Sugo Fest.
But no, it is also 1.5.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, Global just got dookie.
Yeah, so Global got dicked as they usually do, but it's a 1.5 times legend rate, but Stampede Luffy and Bullet are guaranteed on their respective parts on multi number 9. All right, guys, what do you guys think? How are you guys feeling about these Sugo Fest dropping at the moment?
I think we're getting absolutely railed, and I'm over it, to be honest.
I understand why, because like Global only just got the legend, but it is quite annoying considering they're basically the same Sugo, but one is just better. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know. Like I feel like they shouldn't have done it. They really just shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have made it guaranteed.
Fortunately, you don't have to pull on it anymore.
That is very true.
Correct.
My man's Todd out here did get Stampede Luffers, so he's chilling.
About time. So
this lucky boy.
Yeah, now I just got to get that cruise on. But now Dylan over here has got all the boys once again.
He's got all the leggies.
I had to go pretty deep though.
Yeah, it took me 16 part 1 and another 3 of part 2. So, or part 2, like when they refreshed. So
the re-round. So, but I think I completely agree. I believe that it is a shaft 100% when you compare it to JP. But then again, you really do have to think about the current meta of the game, being Stampede Luffy and Bullet are both 2 of the newest legends that have just released, and two of the best legends in the game currently. Guaranteeing either of them on multi number 9 would just be ridiculous. at this current point in time.
What they should have, they really had two ways of doing it. Either don't make it guaranteed on JP, or just make the Sugo Fest later with all the events later on global.
But see, the thing is with like on JP, it seems it's understandable to guarantee them because it's been like 6 months almost, maybe even more.
It's been
maybe 5 months or something
7
like that.
months.
Or yeah, around that time since they dropped. So like guaranteeing them after that period of time seems a little bit more understandable.
Yeah. I
But
mean, like Stampede Luffy isn't really used all that much on JP.
Bullet's insane though. The fact that you can get Bullet from 9 multis is an incredible deal. Like without fail. Like if you have the means and you don't have Bullet, that 450 gems is worthwhile. Plus a 1.5 times legend rate, you could really see yourself picking up a couple legends.
And on JP, they've got some really good boosted legends as well. Like I think the Shanks crew legend is boosted and stuff.
And they're fantastic.
Yeah,
incredible legend as well. So yeah, if you have the means to pull for Bullet or like pull for whichever one you don't have potentially, and you can guarantee them after 9 multis, I don't see why not at this point. Like it's a fantastic Sugo Fest for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely think that people should be pulling on this one if they don't have either or.
Yeah. And then
if you have one though, there is of course the possibility.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean by if you have one? You just pull the other one.
Oh well, if you have one, then you of course have the chance to get shafted if you go all the way and you get that same one. You know.
No, but it's separate parts on JP.
Oh, that's right. I thought it was a chance for one or the other.
Oh, this dude.
Bro,
oh man, I was here thinking
this man ain't read shit. He ain't read the news.
I don't play that. I play global, man.
He just sits there and does. Bro, you're on a podcast that talks about the game.
Well, we just started talking about it, man.
This guy come in. He's like, you could go shopping. It's the one you already have. All of us see here like,
just cut this out. Just edit this process.
No. We don't edit the podcast, man.
I don't want the guys to think I'm some sort of loser, man. I get that.
But I reckon though, bottom line is like if you have 450 gems or you have the ability to pull for Bullet, if you don't have Bullet or obviously Stampede Luffy, I reckon you might as well drop the 450 and get one of them. They're both incredible.
You also have to remember that it is not far away to their 6 annie.
That is very true though. 6 annie is pulling up right now, but they are tempting everyone. Like the Shanks crew and Arlong.
They are
amazing.
Hard.
Hey, it does lead to a question, one of the Twitter questions. So we'll like leave it towards that. But it does. There's a lot of potential for that 6 annie legend to go crazy. And I think we all do believe it will. But Kizuna Clash Akainu, the World Clash Akainu has finally come to global after Korea had it for. They've had it for a couple months, or they had it a couple months ago, I believe.
They had it when we had our Stampede celebration.
Yes, sir. So, what do you guys think? How do you guys going? What do you think? The HP scaling is crazy, like it's gone up very quickly, but I think that's understandable because this Kizuna is a short period. I think it's like 6 days. It wasn't even the full 7, I don't believe. So
is it? Oh, okay.
It was something like that, but
the HP scaling is like double what it was for our last Kizuna, and also the bosses are like really hard. Like you need a lot of units to get around gimmicks and stuff. But at least there's a decent amount of free to play units that are boosted. Boosted, but a decent amount of free to play units you can use to get around like some of the gimmicks and stuff. But the World Clash units, they're like I wouldn't say they're required, but if you have them, it makes it so much easier.
Necessary for, and then also in the rewards you can get Clash Ace and Clash Sabo. I reckon these are 2 fantastic units.
Yeah, that's
especially put them together. They're great, and there was a lot of tickets as well from these Kizuna treasure chests. I think Todd pointed out on Twitter that you could get like 5 from one box and 5 from the other. Like there's a lot of tickets available.
There's 10 tickets, and you could actually get the World Clash units from them as well.
So like by all means, make sure you don't reset too quickly. Get those tickets as well. And this is the last Kizuna Clash. For
I got 2 reds from
Luffy Zoro. Sorry,
Sanji.
You can get them at
Zoro Sanji, yeah. What'd you get, Joba? Spit it out, mate.
2 reds.
What'd you get?
I don't remember, like V2 Fuji and some other bullshit.
Fantastic legends right there.
If you don't even remember, that's how good they were. You know.
That does also relate to another question. There we go. We're on par today. But yeah, make sure you get those tickets because you might as well. And last Kizuna, we're done with Zoro and Sanji now. Thank God for that. Hopefully
They're good
everyone got them
units.
rainbowed. If not, there's going to be plenty of chances down the line to continue to get their limit break materials. So don't fret. It's just going to be a little harder to get them, but you can still achieve getting those limit break materials. So just keep an eye out for later Kisners and make sure you're going to be farming up those ones to max out. It's a fantastic unit. Still probably still meta. The way they made the Kisner unit is fantastic because up until this point, it's still a fantastic unit and it can be used in a lot of different situations. Fantastic boost as well. So sweet as done with that one. But I think I'll hand this one over to Dill. Dill, talk us through V3 Aokiji, man, and the Sugar Fest as well. What were your thoughts and what were your opinions?
I think that his rate up was dog shit.
It was indeed. Can you
Yeah.
please? Would you like to tell the class? Would you like to tell the class what his rate up was?
Oh, fuck, I can't remember the exact numbers.
0.081.
I do.
Yeah,
Yep.
but
0.081.
all I know is
Holy
his name was
shit.
higher,
Yeah.
and I pulled 6 of him.
Oh god, dude!
Yeah.
It was horrid. It was terrible.
I think it was
And my limited
0.89
legends was
total.
like a cracker both times. I'm like, are you
Ew.
fucking kidding me?
But I think one of the most interesting parts of Sugar Fest, they brought back the All Legend multi. And
Yeah.
on that All Legend multi, Mr. Totes Gervier did some shenanigans, changed some numbers, changed some edits, IDs, pulled himself a Stampede Luffy.
Apparently.
There we go.
And I spy confirmed.
The main reason why I did to 10 was because looking at the Stampede Suga that was coming up, I was just not excited about it at all. So instead of spending gems on that, I spent the gems here and it paid off. So
And I would assume you would have been very likely to do the 9 multis on Stampede Luffy part. If it was
no,
guaranteed.
I wasn't gonna. If
Really?
anything, I was gonna do 4 for like one of either the buggy or the croc. But
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm done now. I'm not even gonna do that now.
smart.
Yep. We out here.
And then the last part of Global, which is kind of a shame actually. Halloween Islands are returning. A bunch of islands. I think all the previous Halloween Islands are coming back, which is great. I think the Vivi one and the Katakuri one seem to have a gem coming from when you clear it as well. So that's fantastic. More gems. But
That's nice, actually.
this does lead us to believe though that maybe Ace is coming on March 29th.
I would say that's a pretty fair guess. Like Halloween Island's randomly returning, and the next scheduled legend is supposed to be Halloween Ace. Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
So what do you think? What would entice you to pull on Ace's Sugo? Be realistic. What kind of Sugo Fest structure? How they have to make
Okay,
it? You
so,
actually pull on his Sugo Fest.
I'd say 1.5 legend rate it'd be like 30 gem discount part 1, and then the second one is guaranteed to be either one of the new batch or Ace.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And then third multi obviously guaranteed red. Fourth,
And then so on and so
it'll
forth.
be like 4-star plus. Fifth will be like another like chance at the new batch and whatever.
I hope that his rate is at least 0.125, which would be really good, but we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, a higher legend rate than base would be sick, but I doubt it. And yeah, as Dylan said, the like a second and maybe 5th multi to be guaranteed new batch unit would be sick.
That's very true. I think
I don't know what they could do.
unfortunately, Furry Ace is going to be a challenging legend to entice players with. It's a fantastic legend. Don't get it twisted. It's a fantastic legend. Clears a lot of content. Very strong. Great special. But it's just not that good when you have like Nami and Kuromasaki right afterwards. And then you have down the line, you have like Luffy, Zoro, and Sober Mask. And then also like Nami, Robin, and Pudding. Like it's very hard for people to be enticed by Ace. But hey, still a great legend. Like I don't know, they're gonna have to do a lot of work on the Sugo Fest to really draw players into.
I mean, like the way to draw in any players is to chuck in limited rare recruits and support rare recruits into.
Dude, that Sugo was nutty though. That part of the Sugo, we didn't really talk. I think I got like 15 new units from that Sugo, doing 5 multis on it.
Yeah,
like,
high key. That's the best way to get.
I got like.
I did so many multis on that and got heaps of new stuff.
Yeah, I got like hella good limited rare recruits too. Like those are the kind of Sugo Fest that like. It's not like the big, like the grandiose Sugo Fest, but like those are the ones where it's like you need to fill in like a lot of spaces in your units, like a lot of limited rare recruits. That's the opportunity to really like get a lot of units, which is like really great in itself.
Especially having those support units come back as well.
Oh, for sure.
They're banners by themselves.
Are terrible, but you chuck them into a Sugo Fest, hey, you never know what's going to happen.
It's a no-brainer.
Especially because every multi was 30 gems. Like,
Yeah.
It's hard to pass.
And
You
a
do
red
it
on
well.
the 11th, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
guaranteed red every
Yeah.
multi. Like
I got a lot of like top tier reds. Like I got Sabo Koala like 4 times.
Bro, I got Kung Fu Luffy 4 times. So let's not talk about that. but then again, I did get limited rare recruit Kinemon, limited rare recruit Judd, limited rare recruit Usopp, like all the really good limited rare recruit units as well. So like perfect. But all right, well, Global sucked. No news coming out of Global. But Japan said, "Hey, GGP," and we said, "What's up?" They said, "You guys need news?" We're like, "Yeah, maybe a little bit." They said, "Yeah, and they just dropped it, and we're like, "Okay, this shit hit harder than coronavirus." Anyway, let's get into it. So I got a bunch of news. So with
Shout
the
out
new
to that guy.
Stampede, you can't shout out coronavirus, man. That's crazy. But a bunch of new stuff dropping on JP. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Knight for pulling Sober Mask. That shit
Yeah,
hit.
dude.
Oh, I didn't even
This
see
man-
that. Congrats.
Yeah, I didn't see that
Joe,
either.
you'll need
He
a
also,
you're
he
bugging.
also got Chopper, didn't he?
And he
as
got
well.
Chopper as well. And
Yeah, I
he
saw
did
the chopper. That was
he did
great.
he did do
Ooh.
a review video on Chopper. I want to know. Well, I didn't watch the whole thing because Chopper sucks dick. But what do you think about Chopper?
I think he's better Corazon, basically.
Interesting. All right, I
That's
agree.
fair.
I agree with that.
But at least Corazon has a good support.
You
Unlike
never.
Chopper.
Hey, Chopper's gonna get support. It's gonna blow Corazon out of the water though.
No, Chopper support sucks.
It sucks.
It's gonna get fixed. I promise. But one thing I wanted to mention as well is that I didn't realize Japan did a lot of quality of life updates that no one really harped on too much. Like when Knight was like limit break plussing the Sober Mask or whatever. There's like a feature where like if you run out of limit break materials, it like gives you a menu that lets you click to go to the TM blue ticket shop to buy limit break materials.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Which like,
Saves time.
exactly. Like I didn't realize all this shit was added. No one batted an eye and no one saw any of this stuff. No one mentioned anything anyway. So like, hey, better quality of life stuff, better navigation, which we will talk about a little later with the new home screen. But new Kisner stuff are dropped as well. I think the new Stampede units, we did mention them prior, but new Kisner River. Oh my god, it's finally happening, guys. We are getting alliances, we're getting teams in only in Kisner, asterisks.
Well, don't get too hard because
We
it's
don't.
only
We
going to be
don't.
for this.
It's only for this one, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
it is happening though, which is really cool because this is like the first time we've seen it where you get to pick your team. I didn't want to mention that Todd didn't want me on his team. But that's besides the point.
Oh my!
You know what that means though? This means the system is in place now. If they do this in the future, now this system is implemented, so they could very easily do this in the future for something.
That's what I was about to say, because I get the feeling that they're just going to be testing people's reception to how it all works out, and then they might implement it further.
Dude, imagine putting us into a blitz. Me, Dill, Joba, all grind hard. Cobb just got a high rank, and Todd can get the clout for us.
we were the ones who actually farm. Todd can just get a cloud.
Todd can get us 4 other members that are really good. We're set.
Dude, if we... Oh, could you imagine if we had people like
can get the
Lay and
members.
shit?
Bro, there would have been some dog. Imagine the setup of like Trunks, Lay, Rye, like
Oh,
all those boys in a team. Put Chuck and Robert in there as well. Hey, fuck it, bro. You know, like,
Yonko squad.
bro, them boys pull up.
Oh, and Joy Boy.
Yeah, the goat, the goat. Shout out Joy Boy, man. But this whole Kisner Rip is crazy. So there's a whole website. If you haven't checked it out yet, do have a look at respective Discords and their OPTC news areas. But the website is really good because it has a lot of information on it. And one of the main parts there is obviously the team thing. So you can either create your own team, you can invite people to that team, or you can choose a team as well, or you can join a random one, which I think is quite good as well. Because if you can't get a team together, you can't find one. At least joining a random one gives you the opportunity to get
And when it
rewards.
randomizes your team, you'll get put with other people who are around your pirate level as well.
Oh, we might as well just randomize. It's better than ranking up together.
Yeah, well, it's good because like if you get ranked up, like I said it in my video as well, if you're pirate level 500 and you get partnered up with someone who's pirate level 100, obviously the pirate level 100 is not going to really be good at Kizuna. So
Exactly. They're gonna have the
it's good that they make it similar, which is good.
I don't know, man. I see a couple pilot level 300s in top ranking TM, but that's a story for another day.
Oh, they're hackers.
But it's really cool though because this Kisnos particular does have team clear rewards and ranking team clear rewards, which I'll get into a little later.
But rewards for assisting other people.
Yes,
too.
which is like really good. So in this Kisna specifically, it is versus Moria. So we have this whole thriller bark and a little bit of CP9 for part 2, which is really dope in itself. We do get the first, I think this is like the first proper instance of Kisna units, like fully like Kisna units.
Sort of, yeah.
No, there was a was that Caesar limited rare recruit or was that actually a Kisna unit?
It's an LRR.
Yeah.
Okay. But so we got a Luffy, a Nightmare Luffy, shout out Nightmare, Nami, and Brook as well. These are Kisna units. They have specials that pertain to Kisna itself as well, which is
like
interesting.
treasure map.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're
Luffy's
starting
special,
to really milk out these units, which is like crazy in itself. But
Well, I do have to say the units are actually like really freaking good.
They are though. Like these units are really good for strength, dex.
Like they're not like TM units where like they're only good in the treasure map and they barely will get usage outside of it. But these Kizuna units will definitely see play outside Kizuna.
For sure.
Well, that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
It's always like that because
the treasure, some of the treasure map.
Because the Nami and the Brook actually have really good support abilities too.
Oh yeah. But so we also got a boss coin adventure versus Oars.
That's crazy.
And the thing, so like I saw Coruscant post a tweet that was like his run in the thing. I didn't even know what it was, but he just had like a bunch of coins. I was like, holy shit, have they like changed? Are they doing like the drop system? And they are. So this boss coin thing can be run up to 100 times, right?
Yeah, it's on Extra Island.
And
I saw that thing.
And these Kizuna units boost those drops. So if you have any of those units, and I think there's a few other ones as well, maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but you can boost your drops. And clearing it 100 times, I think Coruscant maybe got like 70 or 80 coins in that one run. He got a couple of dupes of the 10 coin drop as well. So like, if you get really lucky in your 100 runs, you can get like 1,000 coins potentially, like which is crazy in itself.
That means you got to play more Kizuna.
I mean, it is though, but for this, the rewards are kind of crazy, dude. So, the team clash, which is the rewards in itself, the ranking goes like S rank, A rank, B rank, and so on. Where like it's a percentile rank. So I only got the information for the top 10, but obviously it gets lower.
Yeah, the top 10% is in S rank. Yeah.
Yeah. So the top 10 in the team rank, if you get that, or if you're in that rank, you get 500 gems and 300 tokens. Right, which is actually pretty decent in itself. 300 tokens, 15 runs. It's fantastic. And then in the individual, if you're in the top 10 for the individual rank, you get 30 gems, 1,000 tickets, and then an S rank title. But 1,000 tickets is really good. 1,000 tickets guarantees you 78 tablets minimum.
Though you got to remember that on JP they've got 1,000 items in their last box. Yeah.
Fuck JP. That shit sucks dick.
Yeah, so it's not as good.
But it's still though, 1,000 tickets is
that's a lot of rewards.
It's still fantastic though, regardless.
And you get a title for you get an S rank title as well,
which is really cool. Especially because like it's all like the team based stuff, and the rewards itself are based upon the number of boss battles and the number of requests your team clears. So you can support your team. If you don't have enough tokens to a run, you can run a request. And the best part about it is that the request timer has been set to 15 minutes rather than the general 30 for this Kizna. And it's also a higher chance to find your teammates in that in that thing. So you can really like cheese it a little bit, but like somebody failing and your teammate clears, so you get the rescue, and then you also get your team also gets the clear as well. So you can really do a lot with the points there. So I'm really interested to see the strategies that a lot of teams employ. And I'm sure like the big dogs in JP. Imagine if like the top dogs like Snafking and Coruscant teamed up for this kids and shit, man.
It's over.
Knight, have you got a team together?
Yeah, I'm a part of a friend's team.
Let's go. All right, I expect top 10%.
Yeah, I'm expecting top 10%.
Maybe.
That's
I respect it.
Like I was thinking, like I'll just make a team with my friends, see how far we go. But if the rewards are that big, I might be tempted to just get in wherever I can. That's really good.
That crazy. It's just like 30 gems and tickets and a rank. But what is interesting in the treasure exchange,
it's bragging rights.
Yeah, essentially it is. But like in the treasure exchange, you can get. Excuse me, I'm dying. of Corona. You can get Moria and his limit break materials. You can get this new Jiroga and Inupe, which is like the zombie Zoro and the zombie Sanji from Thriller
they're actually
Bark.
pretty good.
It's a pretty decent unit. You can get Marco and Ace limit break materials. You can get Zoro and Sanji limit break materials. Stampede Hancock makes a comeback as well. And then obviously you can get tablets, medals, and rare recruit tickets as well. So there's a lot of fantastic rewards you can get from this treasure exchange, plus the potential to, finish limit breaking your Zoro and Sanji if you need to. Or, obviously Marco and Ace is currently the new Kizuna unit, so you can continue limit breaking them. Plus, Stampede Hancock's a fantastic unit in itself. So
And
having the chance to get her again is
pretty
great.
sure that with the tickets that you'll get in this Kizuna, you could have a chance at pulling the Kizuna rare recruits. So
Ooh, there you
if
go.
get
So
those
if
tickets-
that keeps up the way it is, that's a W. So make sure
Yeah.
you farm this Kizuna. It is a ranked event, so
and actually there is a
go hard.
community event as well between all
Yeah,
players.
that is
Kill
right.
Moria with that HP bar, then everyone gets 10 gems and a red. So that's cool.
Beautiful.
It's a red.
And it's gonna be.
Where did
I'm
that
not
even
making
come
fun. I
from?
like it.
Luffy.
Yeah. Hey man, that's the goat. That's the goat legend. Don't ever disrespect. But also from this whole Road to 6 Annie Part 2, we get special raid event. So before we talk about CP9 Clash, they did allude to you being able to get Super Evolution Skulls from the raids now. So what it
Yep.
seemed to me, I don't know, but it seemed like you clear the raid and it continues to get more difficult or something like that, and then you get a skull
basically
from it,
what happens is there's going to be like an ambush, and you're facing against that raid boss again in a harder difficulty.
which is
in the
fantastic.
ambush.
Which is, I think people have been asking for these 5+ raids to finally happen, and the best part about it is that with this increase, it means that what's been said on the translation was their typings, their captain effects, specials, and their stats will change. So we're gonna be seeing a lot of raid units get revamped into the current meta, which means it's fantastic for free to play, and it's also more or less fantastic for TM. Because when they do raid boost these raids, they're going to become a lot more useful and viable.
It'll be
putting them
interesting.
in
I hope that
teams.
if they're going to boost a raid, they boost both rarities, because these ambushes are very difficult, so not
Yes.
everyone's going to be able to beat them. So I hope that when they boost a unit, they have both rarities boosted.
It will be good, but it's gonna be annoying though, because you have to find if they completely change, you got to find with 2 copies now. You got to have one that's 5-star, one that's 5+. But
That's true.
that's par for the course with OPTC these days, man. You just keep doing the exact same thing over and over again. The unfortunate reality. But on that note, though, we did get the CP9 clash. I haven't looked too much into it, but like Todd said, it's a clash, and then once you finish, you go to a ambush, and you get the skulls to 5+ them. I personally haven't looked at the uni yet. Has anyone looked at the uni yet? Had a look, see if they're good, bad, decent?
They
Good.
are pretty strong, yeah.
Good. All right, there you go. Make sure you farm up.
They're a unit that swaps to your captain spot.
Ooh.
Where are they? They're really good. So, I guess
Resilience and silence. I mean, special rewind.
That's good.
yeah, so so their 5+ captain effect is they're a 3 times slasher and driven attack booster, 1.2 times health, and then if they become your captain, they are 3.75 captain to slasher and driven, and then they boost their own attack by 4.25, and then
Pretty
they have
good.
the utility effect of reducing paralysis and special rewind by 2 turns.
That's fucking good.
And the
That's really
special reduces resilience and rainbow shield by 5 turns and changes empty, block, and bomb to matching on your driven and slashes. And then becomes your captain
Jesus.
for 2 turns.
That's a banging unit.
Yeah,
They
and
do
they saw
everything.
for 2 turns as well, which is good. So you can get
That's
around
good.
enemy effects.
But see, this is great news, because if we can expect the 5+, the first 5+ raid unit to be like this, I hope to God that you can also further expect a lot of the older raids like Raid Mihawk, Raid Doflamingo. I think will probably be the first 2 that they do to get even stronger and even more viable in the current meta, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, I do expect Mihawk to be probably one of the first, the first older raid to get a 5+. That would make sense.
For sure. And because they did also show that in the actual advertisement itself.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
the Twitter thing. So it will be very, very exciting to see how this all pans out. But I'm looking forward to it. Better free to play units, always a positive for sure. Going on from there, 6+ Whitebeard dropped. That's great. I think we all kind of predicted 6+ Whitebeard to drop because we're getting around that
JP.
time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we all kind of knew that was happening, which is great. Now we want to maybe talk about the damage ranking event for Stampede Luffy,
Oh, it comes out tomorrow as of us recording this on Global.
which would be interesting in itself. So we've seen plenty of it. Knight, what did you think about the ranking event, Mike?
It was kind of annoying at first, but I found a decent team. I mean, a really nice team for it. So
Did you
It's
upload a
not
video
too
on it?
no, I didn't personally.
Okay.
I saw a lot of people were able to use the new. I didn't write that on the sheet. That's silly of me. The new the raid bullet,
Yep.
the air quote raid bullet, because I don't know. But
Yeah.
I saw that it's a fantastic unit. But they're able to use that as the captain and really do some damage. And
Yeah, I suggest people out there to farm him up first, completely max him out, and then focus on the ranking.
and it's 45 gems as well. So don't get it twisted for global players. Like that's a decent chunk of gems, especially into the current climate where we're pulling into, where we're coming to these fantastic super vests slowly and surely arising now, and then we also have the excitement to know what this 6th Annie unit's going to really be, so we can
Yeah,
really
I mean, this
look
is a
forward
great
to that.
opportunity, especially if you're like one of those players that's like saving up for one of those big Sugos coming up, like an extra 45 gems. It's going to go
There's
a long way.
always a welcome boost, no
Yeah.
matter what. Also, just a PSA, I guess. 6+ Nami, 6+ Bow, and 6+ Cataskull's finally been added to the unlockable quest for JP. JP's always had a tendency to really lag behind when it comes to putting these skulls into unlockable quests. So it's always nice to see them coming in. But on 6+ Kata as well, Global should be seeing 6+ Kata as well pretty soon.
God damn, I thought we would have had him by now, honestly.
I feel like he's gonna drop with Ace. They're gonna do something like that, I reckon.
Yeah,
I
that
could
probably makes the most sense.
Like I could see him like dropping and then having 6+ Kata be pullable in the Sugo Fest itself.
That'd be
So
interesting.
why is it Kata that you guys are thinking? Because I've been thinking Lucy would be the one that we would get kind of soon, considering we just got Kuzan.
Kata's before Lucy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I guess since we just got Kuzan,
That
I
is
guess they kind of
true,
go
but-
together in my mind.
I mean, they could do that. I don't think anyone would be upset if they did 6+ Lucy with the new Kuz on the
I mean,
top.
I would, because Katakuri.
Yeah, obviously. but those two units together, like that Lucy and that Kuzan, are fucking strong.
Yeah, or I think it was that free Lucy that made me think of it.
Nah, free to play. You Lucy. You're talking about
honestly, that would have been a really good idea to do for the anniversary. They really
They
should have done that.
Part 3 should have just been the Kiji event with 6+ Lucy.
But Lucy dropped with around the same time, or a little bit after, Sober Mask and Luffy Zora, I think.
It was during the event, I think. So anyway,
Yeah, because Lucy becomes a free spirit unit when he super evolves, so he works.
he
really well
also
with
became a
units.
free unit on Global.
Yeah.
So make sure when you guys ask for a replacement for Legend Lucy, you should be actually saying replacement for free to play Lucy.
6+ Lucy free to play.
Well, what are you talking about?
Would you put him? You wouldn't put him anywhere near the tier of Zora Luffy, would you?
He's just a slightly better version of his original.
Exactly. So like, there wouldn't have been any harm if they had brought him out with the 3rd Annie.
No, not really.
Absolutely.
You also
not.
forget, Poppy, whenever they ask for replacements, they ask for replacements for free to play units.
They do ask for replacements for Collar Kids still,
Kaido.
and we just say Kaido.
A lot of people asking for Colosseum Mole replacements for the Kizuna. It's like, well,
Morley was MVP this Kizuna.
yeah, him. He was so good, and Strength Marco is really good.
Ooh.
Quick Pudding's actually doing bits for me.
Yeah, Quick Pudding's good.
Lots of great units for this Kizuna.
Fuck Kazuna.
No, I like Kizuna.
It took me ages to get to box 7.
It just doesn't make sense because like everyone loves it when you can get to like level 100 without needing assistance, and then when they hire the scaling, everyone hates it.
Yeah, because they can't farm it anymore.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Like, why do they do it? It's just.
I'm like level 60, and I can't. Like everything's way too high.
Yeah,
I've only just hit 43, and like I can still clear it with relative ease, but I'm like, I'm just over it.
This is true.
So there's one thing I'm not sure about how it works. If you leave it with like 200 million damage, and then someone comes in and does 100 million, have 100 million left on it? Or
No,
they
have to clear it.
They have to win.
It'll get to a point.
So
where
after a certain point,
yeah,
to use multiple on it or multiple.
Well, what I'm thinking of doing is, I think Kizuna ends tomorrow. I think I'm going to use the rest of my tokens on the middle difficulty.
Yeah, I was considering that.
Yeah.
That's big brain.
Just to get some tickets.
Yeah.
This man's really thinking outside the box right now. Hold on.
Actually,
That's what you would do.
if they brought up this thing, that would help a lot. Because we were, but we would get more tickets.
I mean,
I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah,
This
neither
man,
did I.
this guy's dying. But I think he's just mentioning like if they brought the team thing with this Kizuna, we'd be able to help.
Oh.
No, if they brought the 2 times thing that we lost, remember on the first Kizuna?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we could keep farming and just
That'd be
start the
nice.
2 times. Yeah.
That is
that would
true.
be nice.
Alas, they don't give a shit. But
Yep.
what they do
Put on lockdown.
what they do care about is limited rare recruit Sogo King, who's coming out, and he
Is
is
he good? I haven't
quite
actually.
decent.
No, he's
So,
okay, but not worth summoning for.
Captain doesn't mean shit, but 150k fixed to all enemies, reduces enemy percent damage reduction by 3 turns, reduce paralysis 3 turns. For 1 turn, boosts slot effects of quick and psi characters by 1.75. If there are 5 or more quick or psi characters and you tap 4 successful perfects, boost their slot effects by 2.25 the following turn. So he's just more fodder for V2 Aokiji,
Yep.
more or less.
You can
This-
use he can use him under the new Shanks crew.
That is also true, but isn't that good? Not that it isn't anything too special.
He was he's like a recommended unit to use for the ambush CP9.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But he's not that good. But another limited rare recruit that we can pull on Annie at some point eventually. But that's about it. Yay! Japan has also been going on with this trend about having TM characters that just don't exist. What are your thoughts and opinions on that?
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
They're not showing any more silhouettes anymore. These guys aren't thinking ahead. They're just saying coming soon. Like
Yeah, because they don't even know yet.
but they don't. I genuinely think they have no idea about what's going on with TM until like a week
I
before
think
it
they've got
starts.
something planned. I mean, this whole event.
Unless it's a character who just like hasn't been shown in the anime yet, and they don't want to ruin it.
Jesus.
I think they're
Are you
just
saying-
they don't know if they're going to survive Corona to that point.
Oh my
Well, I think if we're going into next month, I think it'll be around the time of the 3-day 2-year celebration or New World.
Ooh.
So could be like a Hody Jones maybe, or it could be maybe a
Yo,
Mech 2,
TM Hody would fucking be crazy.
or
That'd
what
be
if they
so
did?
sick.
I really wanted this to happen because of the whole like they're going through the story and stuff. I would love it for 3-day 2-year if they did dual units of student and master.
Oh shit,
I would absolutely love that.
That'd be cool as well. Holy shit.
Like a Rayleigh Luffy or a Mihawk Zoro.
Riley Luffy being the TM unit, and you could have boosters as well. Like that'd be
Yeah, that'd
fucking
be
mad, dude.
Yeah.
I'm down. Hey, Bandai.
Make it happen.
We'll wait and
Make
see.
it, make it. Yeah, I bet. Make it happen, boys. Easy. We just get it. We just decree. But I think one of the coolest parts coming out of this whole update is not what I'm going to talk about, but the Arlong ship. The Arlong ship is dropping. It's a strength, quicks, and deck captain ship, which is actually quite interesting because it does follow the lines of Lucy. It does follow the lines of V3 Kuzan as well.
Lots of captains could use it for sure.
Which is crazy because and it's
Yes.
actually quite decent. I think it's unique. It's very unique. So strength decks and quick
A color
captains.
ship.
Yeah, and then it's special -1, easier perfects, and then it starts off the boost at 2 times your attack, and then slowly depletes to 1.3 after 10 turns. So you can really run this on a carrot team, and you can do some cracking damage if you go quick. Like especially on like Fortnites and stuff. Like you can go if you go quick with these kinds of with this ship, you can do some crazy damage with it, which I think is just great.
How do you
Special
get it?
down
Is
as
it
well.
unlockable?
Yes.
Yes.
I would love this ship for Kizuna mode.
This shit.
This
Because
shit.
the
the
fact
ship
is
as
there's
well.
only 3 stages, so you barely
You're
get any attack drops.
You're gonna get like 1.85 on
yeah,
the
it'd be like
on
a
the
1.8 or a 1.7 ship when you reach
Do
the last stage.
do preemptives affect that? It's done
I
the
don't
return,
think
but
we
I don't
know
know if the
yet.
preemptives.
It
I
doesn't.
don't
If
think
I
we
had to
know.
guess, I would say yes, but I'm not too sure.
Well, I think it probably follow the same line of like, does carrots like turn go down on a preemptive?
It does.
Well, then I would assume that the ship would also get affected by the preemptive.
That was my ideology of it.
because
as well.
you could probably like press and hold on the ship thing and say like X turns left until it goes down or something like that. I'd assume.
We also have some captains that like get weaker as you go. I don't like a lot of earlier captains that start at like 3.5 and then go down every turn.
I mean, like even Hody Jones at the end of each turn, you cut your health.
Yeah, and I don't think the preempt is affected there, but who knows for ships.
That's true.
Does preemptive cut out like V1 Kuzan's
That's
captain?
exactly
No,
who I was
it doesn't.
thinking of. Yeah, so that's my
Ooh.
mentality.
Okay, so if it
Depends
doesn't,
how it's
then
worded then.
let me get up the
actually worded in the game.
Let me get up the proper wording, then. Hold on.
Yeah, it's difficult to
figure
figure it out. I hope it doesn't count preamps.
Yeah, we'll just need Knight to test it.
Yeah, Knight can test it and let us
Wait,
know.
is the ship already out?
It's out
Huh?
already.
Oh,
I can see
okay.
this chat.
Why I can't find it anymore. And here it is. When your captain is strength, dex, or quick, reduces special cooldown by 1 turn, makes perfects easy to hit, boost attack of all characters by 2 times, and reduce attack at the end of each turn.
A preemptive is
until
counted as
it's
a turn though. But I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see next time. You can
the end of each turn.
Is it the end though? So like, does preemptive count as the end of a turn, or is the preemptive just at the start of the turn?
Because like the thing is with support abilities, like in a preemptive, if you get hit with poison and you have a Vankov support, it says at the start of the next turn, remove the poison, and then when the preemptive ends, it removes the poison.
Oh, it says at the start of your next turn. I don't know. We'll have to test it because it's the wording's iffy.
It's like some Yu-Gi-Oh ruling shit.
Yeah. Oh, you got a semicolon there. So.
You got a semicolon there.
Oh, bro, you don't even know.
Yeah,
Dude, some of the arguments that people got into is ridiculous.
I don't think I want to know.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't.
We'll leave that story for another day, man. Maybe a GGP extra on some Yu-Gi-Oh shenanigans. You never know.
Fucking hell.
That might drop at some point. But I think the last, we always say we have a lot of news, and we burn through it in like 45 minutes, which is kind of crazy in itself.
Probably all right.
But
much to really discuss. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Really.
But the last bit of news is a brand new home screen, and it looks fucking great. It looks fantastic. I think it's following those similarities to like Dokkan. Like your leader in Dokkan is like your home screen. And I think what we've realized, or we've like I guessed, is your current captain will be the character that appears in your home screen. But on that home screen, on the right hand side, there'll be things like Chopper Man missions, the mail. It'll have your friends list, and it'll also have the news. So you can always access those immediately on the right hand side. And then there's a little wheel that appears like underneath your captain and above your team. If you click on that, it shows the regular 5 buttons down the bottom, which is great. I think the revamp is quite necessary. I think no one really liked the fact that the home screen was straight into story mode. Yeah. It just didn't feel right, and it was always annoying because like you'd have to load from story mode to something else. But now, like when you log in, the first thing you can pretty much load into is like whatever you're trying to access, which is great. But I think with all these revamps, what do you like? Have we had any like more thoughts and opinions on the potential of what this new game mode is? Has anyone really had any more like ideas about what this new game mode could be? Especially with a lot of units these days getting a lot of like ship despair and sailor despair stuff. Like, what do we think? Do you think are we pretty adamant it's like a PvP mode, or like what are we thinking?
I'm not sure.
Alliance-based mode.
It could be like a team-based mode, like, and now like we have the technology, but now that they have the tech in place, like it could very much well be a team-based mode, and that'd be pretty exciting if it was like a similar to Kizuna, but it was like you get points based upon how many clears you do of something or along those lines, and your team's totals added up, which would be awesome in itself. But
it'd be interesting if they moved in the direction of like Dan Memo, where you had to form your own sort of guilds in game and then have all kinds of guild modes.
I mean, I think that's what people want, though. I think
10 people is a little bit too few for that.
I think 10 people's enough. I think 10 people's enough
for an actual, like, if you really think about it, 10 people is an actual pirate crew. Like,
I think 10 people is a solid amount of,
and that's a more manageable amount. You know, like if you're coordinating on Discord or whatever, it's a lot easier to talk to each other.
And not trying to like tell people like how to like what hours people be like. For example, say
we did.
Say if you're like going to be like farming in ships, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, these people are going to be farming at this, so just so we always have a constant flow of like runs. Imagine communicating that over like 40 people.
Yeah, and Dan Memo was 30 people, and it was pretty difficult.
We had to coordinate 30 people in like in like war-based events where like you'd versus an opponent. So we had to coordinate who would verse who at what time, what units you'd use. Would you throw the match? Would you do this? It was pure chaos and it was not fun. But I think 10 people for an alliance-based thing would actually be fantastic. It would be just enough people for it to be interesting. But see, the thing is, like, I've always looked at like the banner itself, and it really looks like the Dressrosa Coliseum. I don't know why I've held that idea for so long, but it really does. And I feel like it could be like a Coliseum style thing where like it'll be PvP where like you verse someone, you beat them, you move on, and then there's like a reward in the final where you get gems, you get like limit break materials or whatever it is. Like it'd be really cool if they did somehow implement a PvP way, whereas like you could like you got points based upon how you did a run or how quick you were or something along those lines, and then you'd compete against somebody else's score, and whoever had the highest score after a period of time would like move on, which I think would be really cool. But I guess we'll find out pretty soon. Actually,
there's one thing that I hope doesn't happen. I hope that there's no specific rare recruits tied to this stupid game mode.
What do you mean, bro? You
No.
know,
Oh, you know, there's
you
no way.
know for a fact they're
Oh,
gonna do that though.
Oh,
If
man.
they've just given us Kizuna units,
Yeah,
like,
I think the whole idea
why
would be
would they
like
not?
Kizuna's not making us enough money, TM's not making us enough money. Let's make this new game mode where people are going to want to spend to be more competitive.
Not making us enough money. How about actually make the game good again?
Oh, that would be crazy. What are you talking
Dill,
about?
how do we do that, Dill?
Yeah, please let us know, sir. All right, he doesn't know. Don't hire that guy.
Yeah, whatever Bandai meme proposes that, turn out the building. Like, you know that meme where the guy gets thrown out for proposing to get thrown.
I'm about to throw you out the building right now.
You can try it. Get over here.
Okay, all right, relax.
I think you guys are under lockdown, so you can't.
Oh, we're on lockdown, bitch. I can pull out right now. No one can stop me. I'll do it right now.
Well, party.
Hey, it might be time. We might pull up, bro. Chat coronavirus. Anyway, but that's all the news. Surprisingly enough, that's all the
we
news.
smashed that.
We the
We
last
had
two
2 pages.
Yeah, the last 2 eps we've really just like hammered through the news. But like Todd said, none of it's discussion based news. None of it's really speculation. It's kind of just like read opinion next and like, you know, rinse and repeat. But
Yeah.
I want to spring
And some of it's not out yet.
Exactly, so we can't really delve into it too much. But I'm gonna spring the general discussion question since I know none of you look at the episode plan at all.
Hey,
that's a lie.
I skimmed it. I skimmed it right before.
What I want to ask, and like I want to have a general discussion because I know you're fuck out of it because I know you goobers quite well now. But but like I think everyone really like, other than how the point system worked, everyone really enjoyed the idea of World Clash, and the World Clash Akiyinu Kizuna really got me thinking: how would we do a World Clash in 2020? What would be the parameters? What would be the island? How do we do points? How would it all work out in doing a World Clash that would be JP versus the world again? So Knight versus us. In a World Clash scenario. What do you guys like? I want to hear like your thoughts.
It's gonna be
on this.
It's gonna be everyone versus coronavirus.
Oh my
I knew it. I just fucking knew it. I knew it. Why do I bother? This podcast sucks dick. Fuck you.
You know, that's the damn line. You know it.
I would like the theme of a potential World Clash to be reverie based potentially. So like the bosses could be like a Wapple. You could have, I don't know, someone else. I don't know. You could have like 5
Celestial
different
Dragon,
bosses.
dude.
Yeah, you could have St. Charlos, a Rob Lucci potentially. Just have like a bunch of those bosses, and then you'd have to introduce some rare recruits. So maybe introduce like a new rare recruit Sabo, rare recruit Garb. I don't know, something like that.
I could see it happening once we move further into Wano. You know, have maybe some more Wano legends, because you could definitely have like something kind of themed around all the the big alliance versus the Kaido pirates. And we can't really talk about it too much because we could spoil. But
no, I agree. I think the clash thing is pretty like set in. Like you can easily do that. But I think the point system's the hardest part to do. And I feel like
how was it last time? Was it
was
runs
point
or drops?
No, drops.
I didn't even
drops. That's right.
Because I didn't play. I wasn't playing. I was on break at the time. But I
There
remember
was the sabotage as well.
Yeah, everyone was crying about drops and stuff. And JP had like stacking or some shit. Or like I don't know
Yeah,
that
because we didn't have stackable tomes or anything at the time, so
JP
they could
able
just
to
continuously
sprint
farm
through.
and not have to worry, and global players would keep having to stop to empty their box.
But like I feel like it's unfortunate because Blitz is in that in the line of like drops now, which sucks. But like I think you'd have to really make it even somehow. I don't know how they're gonna make it even. JP versus like Global Korea, and French version. I think it is really like those three versus the JP version. But it has to be some sort of orientation where you'd need to make it fair. I don't know if you'd handicap like the world or something like that, but like
It's
like,
tough.
it's
Or
very,
what if?
it's very,
So you
it's
know,
very
I know how
challenging.
what you said, like the world versus Japan, but what if they just get the whole world and then segregate everyone into teams around the
Yeah,
world?
I was gonna say if they wanted to make it fair,
That's like
if it
Tokyo
was
Ghoul
world
did.
versus Japan, to split people up into teams, and then
Okay.
have each one
Or
be
just
like
have
a
two
win.
sides, like the Admiral Blitz battle, but Japan and the world are split into the two teams.
Yeah, so you're saying like what Tokyo Ghoul would do? Like you'd log in one day and you're either on the human team or the Ghoul team.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or maybe
I don't know if
maybe you
we.
have to do a questionnaire, and how you answer the question puts you in a certain team. Maybe.
I
don't know.
mean, we all know the way they do it is like the last digit on your ID puts you in a team.
Most
The
likely, yeah.
unfortunate reality is that's how they'll probably do it. But like, I reckon that'd be really cool. I reckon like putting everyone together and then splitting them up and saying either side. But I feel like people would be upset as shit at that though, because we saw that in the Luffy and Katakuri event. Because one of the islands
Yeah.
was a lot easier to farm. I think it was like the versus Katakuri was a lot
Yeah,
easier to
it
farm or
was
something
so
like that.
much easier.
And you know, if you weren't on the Luffy team or whatever orientation it was, people you want to lose. You weren't going to get any
Yeah,
rewards
even
at
people
all.
who like didn't even farm. If you're on the winning team, you still get a
You
red.
still got red, which is like
Yeah.
crazy, right? So I feel like it kind of has to be like your decision of where you go in a team, or like it kind of has to be like Japan versus the world, just to like say like, you know, you're in these teams. This is based upon where you play the game. There's no excuse to be like this island's easier or this team's better, or like, you know, like we know like it has to kind of be like that, because I feel like randomly putting people in teams would get people upset as hell.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think regardless, we would have to. It'd be tough without a lot of the old, tryhards that have retired
old
since the
guard.
last time. Yeah, we'd have to go and track those guys down. Recruit them.
Bro, none of them are gonna play.
No,
none
It's
of
gonna
them
be tough.
give a goddamn shit, bro. If the fact that we don't have trunks anymore, it means we cop the L.
Yeah.
Or what if
We
they
hold-
just make a super ultra mega stupidly hard event, and it's the whole world versus a boss?
Oh, like a global raid boss, like
That'd
like
be really
everyone's got
cool.
to contribute damage.
Like-
I think they should have done that
Like a
ages
Destiny
ago.
Child.
Yeah,
Have
that-
like there's a world boss event.
They should have done that ages ago though. But they would give it like 100 billion HP and be like, you guys have a week to take this down or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
The
know?
competition is kind of what made the last one sort of fun.
Yeah.
But we don't even have the modders on our side now, because now that they're getting rid of those guys.
You cannot have.
Why would
Japan
you want them
versus
on
the
your
world.
side though? I get like,
I know.
it's like we win, but we only win because you had all the modders on our side.
No, we
I
don't.
don't
we
care.
want
Nah.
Fuck it. I get the rewards. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, true.
You can't do Japan versus the world. The players on JP are too crazy.
I mean, Knight's over there doing God knows what. He's probably dragging them down for all we know. Or we have they got Coruscant though. Coruscant's unfair as shit. Speaking of which though, Coruscant even ranked in the top 100 for TM. And it scared the shit out of me. I was like, is this guy alive? But he just said he didn't pull, and I was like, all right, bet. But like, I was like, yeah. man's didn't even bother. Man said he took a break and he came 123rd. That says a lot. But I think like maybe not like a world clash, but I think a world boss event would be freaking awesome. It'd be so cool to have like everyone against like Kaido, for example, because it's Wano related.
Well, then yeah, you could have a boss event, and then you have a ranking between players. with
Yeah,
that,
and like
maybe.
whoever contributes the most damage gets like like
Yeah, you could do that.
rewards like that, and then either side gets a top one, and then you could say Japan contributed more damage, so they get better awards, something like that. Like, you could still make it competitive.
Last time is like if you have those World Clash rare recruits, the fights are really easy, and because it's based on drops, obviously the faster you clear it, the more drops you get. So, and Japan
like
players were
it'd
going
be really
crazy. They would always
It would be really cool if they did it like, like your total damage throughout the runs accumulated, and then whatever damage you do at the very end adds up, and then you get your own personal score of how much damage you've done. And
another
then
thing as well that I
ranks
guess
you.
it's kind of interesting when you think about it, because the World Clash came out like right after cheap gems got taken down, so a lot of the players were not
Disheartened.
as excited to play. I would say it'd be interesting, but then again, a lot of the players are not here anymore. So
Unfortunately, but we have the new guard. You have Joba, who's second place, Blitz, who lost to Trunk, so he can carry us.
I did mean to mention I beat Trunks at something for the first time today. We were
No
playing.
one cares. Mario
No,
Party
it's
does not
important.
count.
I
It's
can,
One
Mario
Piece
Party
treasure.
counts. It definitely counts. This
Doesn't
guy's a
matter,
monster at everything he does.
You cheated.
Nope, I won fair and square. You should have seen it. It was the best comeback of all time.
You play as Waluigi in. I can't respect you.
Because he took all the good characters.
Hey, when GGP
It's
Mario
good fun.
Party when is my question.
Dude, that should
Oh,
be
it's
the
good
live
fun.
stream, like just in the background, just so playing Mario Party.
Just chopping it up with the gang, dude, for real. But I think a world clash would be crazy. Just a regular world clash would be exciting. Just give us a world clash, honestly. Even if it's shit, like as long as it exists, because the event is like really fun, I guess. Because it's like you're versing like people that like on a completely different game, different complete server to you. So
and remember, at the end of the World Clash, when it happened, we got to choose what dual legend we wanted next, which ended up being Cat Dog.
Hey, and
Which
that
is one of
unit
my
is
favorite
cracking.
duels.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Cat Dog's
those
awesome.
guys.
Yeah,
Cat Dog's so cool.
I hope we don't get to vote for legends ever again because we're getting sugar.
Oh,
Hey,
dude.
Sugar goaded, bro. Sugar forever goaded.
Get out of here.
Can you believe that one day you're gonna log in to Discord and you're gonna see on the Japanese OPTC news, Sugar Legend is now in game.
So
Can
You know what I can't believe? One day Reiju was winning by 40%. The next day it was
don't,
done.
bro. Don't bring up the
Yeah.
shenanigans, bro. That's
It
the
reminds me
Bandai
of-
backbone.
It reminds me of an American election.
Oh
Just
my.
Man.
Anyway, we're not going there. I'm just saying.
Hey man, like bro, might as well at this point, dude. This fucking guy. But
hey, but at least we'll get a Smoker Legend at some point.
we
Yeah.
will hopefully the next one. Hopefully the next part will be Smoker Legend. But who knows? Who knows? Speaking of legends, though, we have some Twitter questions.
Oh, absolute legends.
Hey, that was a nice one.
That is true. Hey, that's my man's, bro. God goaded, bro. At Ahmed,
Just kiss him already.
I bet.
Social distancing, bro.
Yeah, sorry. I'm technologically distanced from Cobb right now, so it's fine. I'll blow him a kiss later. But that's besides the point. And Ahmed Nahab 6 via Twitter asks, do you think all of the red scarabs is over legend, individual, dual units, blah blah blah? And I guess this kind of does pertain to the potential sixth Annie legend as well. What do you guys think? Do you think each of the scarabs is over legend? Do you think they deserve Rareku dual units? How do you think they should really delve into those units? Do you think two different parts? What are we thinking?
Maybe. I mean, they could really draw at Wano, and we're going to be stuck in Wano for a long time because that's where the manga is at currently. For Whole Cake Island, they did one for all of the commanders, so they could potentially go that route. Just really draw it out for as long as possible.
Well, you got to think that technically, Cat Dog are scabbards, and we have legends of those guys.
That is true. So you could, I reckon, the best way for them to do it would be dual units, though. I feel like these days people aren't really.
No, they'll
looking
cram
that-
them all into one legend, like the
No more
Nah.
of those, bro. Don't give me 9 characters in one goddamn unit, bro.
I wouldn't even like them to be dual units, honestly.
Yeah,
I feel like that's. I
don't
feel
know
like
even want them
I
to
feel like
legend.
they'll do dual units though for this particular thing. They'll do dual units.
Only one of them deserves to be a legend.
Yeah, I can't see them packing that many characters into one unit. Just
Dude, the CP9 one's way too many units, bro. The CP9 is way too many characters to be a.
That's obnoxious as hell.
Spandam does not deserve that good of a character. This is not okay. But I really definitely could see that Todd and Brian. Don't make me close Discord again, man. For fuck's sake. But I can really see them it's just like putting them all. I've covered it. I can't even see anymore. Fuck you. But I can really see them doing this later on. But like, I think this does really like bode the question. Like, do we really think that Odin will be the 6th Annie legend, or do you think
No.
it's something else? Or Todd said no straight away. I want to hear this man's ideas.
Nah, 6 Annie's not going to be Odin. Nah,
Well,
I don't know
what
what
do
it's going to be, but it's not Odin.
Okay, all right. Before we get into what we think it would be, everyone else, Odin, yes or no?
No.
Where's the anime up to?
Server
Yeah.
mask.
Oh no, not
Ooh.
yet.
Yeah, probably not 6 Annie. Definitely soon. I just
Okay,
don't.
so
I
then
actually wouldn't be surprised if it's Kaido V2.
Yeah, I was about to say Kaido.
I was about to ask. I was gonna say, all right, then what do we think that Annie
Ma-
will be?
Maybe new Drake legend.
New Luffy, woo! Another Luffy legend,
mean,
please.
Kid Killer.
Kid Killer would be sick.
Kid
I think
Killer would
Luffy
be
Kid
fun.
makes the most sense though.
Luffy Kid would be actually like dope
I'd
as
love
hell.
to
Though.
see dual Kaido Big Mom. I think a lot of people would love that.
That's too
No,
much.
please.
That's too much.
It's
That's
gonna
too much.
happen eventually.
Bro, that's two big ass
Yeah,
homies
it
on
is
the
gonna
screen at the
happen
same
eventually.
time. That's fat. That's a fat
Kid
unit right
Kid
there.
Killer.
Kid Killer, I think.
Kid Killer or Kid
Kid-
Luffy.
Kid,
One of the
something,
two.
something with Kid. Kid deserves a legend.
Yep. It'll be Kid
Yeah.
someone.
I'm finally on board with that.
Because
What do
last
you
year's
mean you're
was
finally on board? Do you think he didn't
Oh,
deserve one?
no.
ages ago?
Well, not for a long time because I always
His
said he
polar
didn't get
unit is better than 90% of the legend right now.
That's
Like,
true.
what do you mean? Like,
That's true. And I can always go back to Coruscant having a unit. So if he gets
exactly.
a legend,
Coruscant is dead. Ace is dead. Whitebeard dead. They all got legends.
Wait, Joe, are you complaining the fact that you don't want Kid to have a legend?
no, I didn't used to want him because I thought he didn't get enough exposure yet. But now I definitely agree that he needs one.
Nah.
Someone claimed their
I mean,
man.
freaking
bro.
Capone got a legend. Kid definitely deserves a
Capone
legend.
sucks his dick as well, bro. Fuck that guy.
Kuba.
And he got the best shooter legend, and the shooters still suck dick. So it's fine.
The best shooter legend isn't really setting the limbo bar very high.
Yeah, that's very true.
Bro, when the best
He's
shooter
a
legend popped
substitute
up,
legend.
people were walking under that limbo bar. No one was fucking bending backwards.
Legit, if you gave Capone's abilities but to a different class, that unit would be like top tier.
Top tier, 100%. Because
Yeah.
shooters still suck, bro. Come on, cuz. Come on, do something about that shit, man.
You gotta dedicate an entire like
Hashtag
3-month span. to shooters.
fix shooters.
Make shooters great again.
Make shooters great again. I want to talk about that though. Droba, you started a new YouTube series, didn't you?
Wait, what?
well,
What
it
line
wasn't
of
really
this?
intended to be. I cleared Raid Shiki yesterday, like super fast using Sengoku Captain.
He did use.
really, the only reason is because it doesn't matter what captain you had, as long as it was a cooldown reducing captain. Because I use it.
You had
Kaido. Kaido too strong, man.
And with Kaido, you can't really stall, so you need someone of your own to reduce cooldowns to get a lot of unit specials ready by the time you get to the boss. So
Joba's team building low-key underrated, man. That's the nice thing to say to him all podcast.
Yeah, I can team build like crazy for Fortnites and easy raids.
You get one compliment per podcast. That's it.
I'll take it. It's better
That's
than
a
0.
limit.
That's what it was before.
That's a limit, man. No more from me,
Or
that's for sure.
Moving up in the world.
Hey, this man really respecting that much. Just say he's moving up in the world when I compliment him. That's crazy. But I think this is a really good question actually. So from Platinum Wolf 99 via Twitter, thank you again. Should old legends like V1 Whitebeard and Boa Hancock be discounted entirely or discontinued? Entirely from legend pools and made farmable or converted into 5-star gold posters. I think it's a really interesting take on the whole idea of
it's difficult.
I'm sure
of,
all
like,
of us have
looking at old
wanted
legends.
this. Hey, all of us obviously pull in this game, and all of us want this. But for it'd be hard to implement because there's a lot of people who are new to the game who don't have those units.
I feel like the way that this person has said converted into regular 5-star gold posters is actually really smart. Because if it was a regular gold poster that could only be pulled at 5-star, that'd be like that. And if it was, and then I guess you could maybe pull the 6-star, but to be a red poster, some sort of shenanigans like that. But I think converting it into a 5-star poster, like all the old legends, would actually be really, really smart. When I read that, I was like, I haven't thought about it like that. But I think a lot of people probably presume they'd become a Ray shop unit or a ticket unit or something along those lines. But I think converting them to a 5-star gold poster is a really intelligent way to continue to have them in Sugo Fest, but not as like a legend. So when you see a legend ticket, you're not going to assume it's going to be a shit legend all the time.
The thing they did so far, which is a good step forward, is where the all the guaranteed reds now are from V1 onward. That's a very good start for
But
something like that.
I guess then every legend prior to that could be made into a 5-star gold poster. I don't see how that hurts.
Yeah,
at all.
definitely. Other than their supports, a lot of those legends are really never used. Almost like most of them, I would
And
say.
even with the poor limit break
I just think
plus
they
thing,
need to
help
find
nothing.
a way. They need to find a way to make them usable again. Either
Well,
make an event where it's like, oh, it's nostalgia Kazuna. Use your old legends.
But like, I feel like they had the opportunity with limit break plus and they didn't take it.
There is a thing with that though, because if they do that, then that Kizuna would be like stupidly easy.
Everyone
No,
would
but like,
better
if
that.
they make
I
it
would be
say
fine
like
with
you
that.
can't use the newer legends, then it wouldn't be as easy.
Yeah, limit it to you can only use them.
But people, do you understand how mad people would get though at that?
Yeah, they can
Well,
suck my ass.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
You can't
also
complain about the game being boring and too easy, and then when they introduce some challenging content, like, oh,
But
no,
that-
like it because I
That is
can't.
literally
No.
the whole OPTC fan base in a nutshell, though.
no, but the thing is that nostalgia Kizuna thing that literally doesn't net them any money.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. This
You're
is a
not using
business.
newer units. You're not
Yeah,
using
And
that's
now with Kizuna units, they're going to orientate every single Kizuna around 2 to 3 rare recruits every time.
Yeah, I think that's why 6+ units are never like that revolutionary because they don't make them any money. Because a lot
We'll
of
have to
people
wait and
already
see
have those.
because, like, if they just rehash, like, because probably the next Kizuna, hypothetically, if the next Kizuna is just back to Marco and Ace dual unit, I don't see them introducing more Kizuna units for that because, like,
They could, though.
when on
They
their
really
first debut,
could.
they brought out the limited or the Kizuna rare recruit Akainu.
Yeah.
I'm a little cut that this Kizuna rare recruit Akainu like wasn't actually like a unit. It's just like, oh yeah, nah, Akainu's the boss, but you don't get him. You know what I mean?
No, there's on JP there is like a rare recruit
Where's the
Akainu
unit?
unit that debuted with Marco Ace.
Like a whole ass unit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's still like, I mean, like, obviously we still have to wait for this new power up, which we're still waiting on. We haven't heard anything because
True.
they didn't mention that there's going to be another way to power up your units
Yeah.
that we haven't seen yet, and it still exists in that menu saying coming soon as well. So like, I think everything about old legends and old units really falls heavy on what that power up system is. Because if that's like an easy A, like Dokkan style thing, we could really see a revamp into a lot of units that become really, really strong again. But
Yeah,
the issue with that is Global's very bad at making those kinds of things farmable. And I don't see them making like the OPTC version of easy A-ing a unit farmable, which would be ridiculous because it make no sense. But at the same time, it's OPTC, and I don't see them doing that. It's very rare that they do. Like what was it? Like the first time we've really seen heavy limit break material farming outside of Treasure Map was that raid buggy, that special raid one where you could get booster units would boost the amount of drops you got from that raid itself. And then here now we have this ores event. We can clear it 100 times to get a bunch of coins. That's the first time we've seen coins be available outside of Kizna. So it's very rare that we do see farmable like limit break or farmable XYZ outside of the regular farming the unit or farming soccer books and stuff. Even then, you can't do that anymore. You know, you can only farm turtles for XP. That's about it. So I think
turtles with all the bloody lobsters.
It's true though, because it's irrelevant. The turtles have become more or less irrelevant because the amount of drops of lobsters you get from just Kizuna alone is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most
I'm
of the time
swimming
you
in
don't even use
homies.
it anymore.
You haven't got so many homies. That's cat. But but like I think like everything really depends on in particular on what this new power up system will be. I hope to God it's like an extension of limit break in the sense of like it's a new version of limit breaking, but like maybe I guess for lack of a better term, a new version of powering up a unit that like really extends their captain ability, their special, maybe their stats a little bit more, or maybe even like changes their typing or some sort of orientation like that. Really depends on that. Will determine how strong these old legends will be or what they do with them in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it. Anyone else got anything to say? Your goobers?
Yeah.
Okay, Cobb's
That's
upset. Cobb, talk it out, man. This is the end of the podcast. People love the ends and starts of the podcast.
Stop
man.
making me pull for shit. I just want to play the game and have fun with my friends.
You don't have to pull, man. You're bugging pulling all the time. Just don't pull. Easy as that.
Yeah, just pull.
Now I
You
can't
guys-
even play Kazuna without pulling. Fucking.
I mean, you just be like Knight and pull on every discount and get a new fucking legend every time you pull, man.
True. Are you guys planning on pulling for Ace?
No.
I'll do 3.
Yeah,
If you
I might
pull
do.
Ace isn't a glue eating. We haven't said glue eating in a while. Damn. But
Yeah.
Ace isn't a glue eating like legend. But if the Sugo Fest is doo doo, I might have to sanction it as a glue eating Sugo Fest. You
Well,
might
I did
have
hear from Broke that the next TM is going to be a pain in the ass without the rare cards. Like Reiju apparently is very useful. So who knows? I might do a
but
couple.
like our TMs, for the most part, I mean, recently they've kind of been shit. But our TM lists are usually like a little bit more lenient, I feel like. But we'll see though.
We'll have to see. Yeah.
It'd be very. What is the next TM unit anyway for global?
Halloween Nami.
What the Nami
Ooh.
again?
Yes,
that
I'm
bitch.
but yes, thank you.
All right, Joba, top 10, everyone. You heard it here first.
Fuck no, I am
Joba's
spending on
number
the. You know,
top
I
10.
gotta save my money for Corona-related emergencies.
Oh my god. You heard it here first,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I am pulling again until the world is recovered.
That's cap. That's
No,
so
that
much
is cap.
dude.
That is cap.
You're gonna see Joe and do like 2 multis on TM Sugo, 100%.
Yeah, I probably will do at least
And
2.
there it is. Got him. Got him again.
Exposed.
Collected.
Man, no one's working. No one's working and getting paid right now. How are we gonna?
I'm
pull
working
for
my
fucking
damn
TM?
ass off right now.
I'm working too.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
disrespect.
Well, all
He's
Yeah,
right.
do you
got
want-
toilet paper on tap.
Bro, I got 10 years of toilet paper stashed in my house, bro. I'm prepared.
Also, you got the hookup then.
You're part of the problem.
Nah, my dad's a cleaner, man. We got the secret stash, bro. Don't even talk about it, bro. Keep that shit on the down low, bro. Too many people hear this. I'm scared now. People pulling up my house. You say toilet paper, everyone pull up to your house, right? Oh shit,
Oh,
can't
shit.
slip past. I'm fucked, yo.
Oh no.
But I think that ends it for another episode of Good Great Perfect. Great app once again. Little short, little sweet. Got through the news quite fast. Hopefully they start releasing news that is actually a little bit more discussion based. Hope you all enjoyed the World Clash discussion we had. If you had any opinions on World Clash or what you think World Clash should be, leave them down below in the description or tweet at us at GGP Podcast. Also, Cobb, Dill, what's going on, guys? Cobb isn't doing anything to do with questions. Dill's sad because no one's using the Instagram. So make sure you go to at GGP Podcast on Instagram. Follow there. Some great content there uploaded by Dill. Make sure you do give us a follow there as well. If that fan base grows a little bit more, we'll do live Q&As there while we're recording the podcast. We'll answer questions as they come in via Instagram itself. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube itself. We are getting closer and closer to that 1,000 mark, and we really have we do genuinely have a lot of things planned for that 1,000 sub mark. We just want to achieve that first before we can enact all that kind of stuff in itself. But I think also as well, make sure you listen to our first episode of GGP Extra. It came out of the blue. I think that was Cobb's idea for a name, and I think it's a fantastic name in itself. It's kind of like going to be an ongoing side series where we kind of like do interviews or we just upload extra content, whether it be like reviews, tier list videos, just general like fun discussions that we have amongst the members of the podcast. And then if they're like primarily video based, it'll be YouTube only. But if they are audio based, we will upload them alongside the regular podcast. Speaking of the regular audio podcast as well, make sure you go follow us on Anchor. We're distributed to a plethora of podcast listening platforms. In particular, the main 3 that people are using right now is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So make sure if you're there and you're listening, leave us a review as well. I'm going to start scouring those locations for people that are listening and people that are leaving us reviews, though. We might read a few of those reviews at the end of every podcast as well. So make sure you do that in particular. I think that's really it. Make sure you go watch all the videos we've uploaded recently, episode 13 of the previous podcast, and the late interview. Fantastic interview again. It will be in the end card again as well. So make sure you do listen to that. But without further ado, Cobb, Dill, Joba, Knight, Todd, I've been Captain Puppy. Thank you for listening to another episode of Good Great Perfect. Peace.
See you.
Boy.
Yo.
Need it.
Bye.
All right.